save. All right, so that's me recording now. All right, so I'll quickly touch base on the code of conduct for today. So part of code of conduct is to let people speak. This platform has a virtual hand you can raise up, so please make use of it. And please, you can mute yourself so that it doesn't echo. It's just for everyone to be able to hear each other. Also, we have a culture to respect everyone's opinion, and please just let's keep up to that. And for the agenda for today, I'll tell you a little bit about Enter 50, the current campaign, to keep you all updated as to what is happening at Enter currently. And then I'm gonna the highlight of the forum, which is very most important, is that we'll talk about academic issues and facilities and technical issues. That is where I'm going to hear more about what is happening around your program and what your colleagues have been able to discuss with you. So permit me to reintroduce to you the three full-time officers who are here to work in the interest of the students. While we work within different remit, we have collective goals around student engagement, sustainability, and many more. Why is student engagement very important to us? Because there are a lot of resources that is made available to students that most of the students are not aware of, and some of these resources might not be available to students after university. So that's why we take that seriously, student engagement. And also to reiterate, you can always get in touch with any of us at any point in time. We are easily accessible. Myself and Eloisa was a two-time program rep during our course, and Emily was fully engaged with the Sports Society. So this is where I say a very big thank you for putting yourself forward to represent the students, and welcome to this forum. Also, some people kind of told me that they were experiencing challenges with Facebook group. I tried to look into that. So just a couple of hours ago, and I've been able to rectify that. So we've created a Facebook page to be a very easy platform for us to be able to communicate, and we are able to share information that will be of good benefits to the program reps. And also, like you have seen in the training, if you've completed that, you should have known about the SSLC. So even though why the meeting looks sometimes formal, don't be stressed about it. I've had quite a number of reps who had reached out and said they're kind of stressed about what to say in SSLC. You don't have to be stressed about that place, okay? One thing I know about Napier tutors and program leaders within my time in the university is that they are welcoming, and they actually want to hear the views of the students. Also, regarding the academic board, we'll be needing just 2 representatives on that board. So the academic board do all types of academic works that shapes the program. I was in a meeting last week with Andrea, the principal. And she's also very, very keen to want to hear from the student perspective on cases and issues around their program. So this is Enter 50. So Enter 50, which we call the voice of the student body, comprises of volunteers who are passionate about the general student body. So the difference between the program rep and the Enter 50 is that the Enter 50 volunteers operate at a general body level. They help to shape in policies, strategies, and influence changes within the entire 3 campuses. So if you're interested to give a little time to the general student body, you can always send me an email to indicate your interest. So currently at Enter, it is the Black History Month, which is October. My colleagues have been uploading their Black Heroes on our social platform. And the World Mental Health Day was on the 10th of October. Also on our website, you can also have access to more resources that could assist the students. So here I have the student features. The student features is the arms of the university that supports students with any employability requirements and resources like career and skills development with placement, That's for some of you who have placement attached to your program. They could also assist to source placement for you. I'm working closely with them to develop employability web series that would feature employers answering questions from students. They've got quite numbers of events coming up, and I hope you can check them out and probably also spread the word out to your colleagues. Um, I think enough of me talking. I would like to listen to you. And so, please, would you like to share any of the academic concerns that probably your colleagues have shared with you, the ones you've noticed, or the ones you just anything you want to share about academic issues, please? You could just probably raise up your virtual hand, or I think I can see everyone. Yeah, okay, yeah, or physical hand is fine too. Yeah, who would like to go first?
I think you have a hand raised from Rosine, I think it is.
Okay, Rosine. Yeah, yeah. Hi, Rosine.
Hi.
Yeah. How?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Rosine.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry, I think I have a little bit of delay.
Okay.
I'm one of the program reps for the MSc Applied Forensic Psychology.
Okay.
We had like a sort of a pre SS, I can't remember the ST, the big meeting. We had a sort of pre-mini meeting for that on Tuesday. And yes, thank you, the SSLC. And so we got like loads of feedback from the other students to bring to the lectures, and for the most part, like they were pretty responsive and like dealt with most of our problems. We still have like two sort of not necessarily issues, but things that people are repeatedly bringing up.
Mm-hmm.
So one of them is online classes. We for a lot of the days we have like an online class first thing in the morning, and then for a lot of people we have like quite long commutes, so it's sort of like a rush to get from home to campus to be on time for the on-campus lecture, so immediately after the online one. And we were advised to just be on campus for the online lectures, but people are really unhappy about that because they feel like, if we're all going to be on campus for an online lecture, then why not have it in person? And it sort of like defeats the purpose of having an online lecture to begin with, because if the intention is that there's less people on campus, then why are we coming into campus to do an online one?
Mm-hmm.
We brought this up to the lecturers, and they basically just said like that the timetabling isn't really within their power or within what they can do. So I thought I'd bring it up here. And
Okay.
then just another really minor thing that people are asking about is recording live lectures. They just won't, and people are quite unhappy about that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much for that, Roseanne. So, Roseanne, you said your SSLC is coming up next week, Tuesday, yeah?
Yeah. No, hang on. It's the 2nd of November, but we
2nd
had
of November, okay.
yeah. But we had like a sort of a pre-SSLC meeting on like just this Tuesday past.
Okay.
I guess just to get to know everything and get things prepared.
Okay, okay, okay. So in the last Tuesday, I'm not sure, did you talk about these issues with them at the pre-meeting?
Yeah, and so as far as online classes go, their advice was be on campus for online classes,
Mm-hmm.
and people were not happy at all with that advice. And then they just outright said like, oh no, we won't record live lectures because the whole program would have to agree, and like a sort of a list of reasons that people again weren't really satisfied with.
Okay. Um, Sorry for too many questions, okay, because I wanted to understand the pre-meeting for the SSLC. Was a program leader present in that meeting?
Pardon?
Was your program leader present in the meeting?
Yeah, so it was 3 program reps and the program leader for the MSc Applied Forensic Psychology and the MSc Criminology and Forensic Psychology because we have a lot of overlapping modules.
Okay, okay, okay. All right. Because for the online classes, all right, if the lecturers are saying that is a timetabling issue, okay, I believe it will be worth taking up on the 2nd of November that you have the main SSLC, okay. There you're going to be able to have access to the program leaders and quite numbers of tutors within the program, okay, to be able to discuss that in depth, okay. So peradventure when you bring that up there on that day, including recording of live lectures, I mean some other students have also made that same concerns in other campuses. So discuss that in that forum on the 2nd of November. Okay, so peradventure, nothing has been done about it yet. Just send me an email about it so I can take it up with the higher department. If that's okay.
Yeah, I think I definitely will email you because the program leader has already said, has given the advice that the students aren't happy with it. So
Okay.
I'll send you an email.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for that,
Thank
Rosie.
you.
Is my slide still showing? I don't think it's showing me. Yeah.
No, it's not sure.
No. Okay. I think someone. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna try
Sorry,
that.
that was me. I tried to type in the chat and
That's fine,
I
Sophie.
messed up.
That's fine, Sophie. That's fine. I'm just going to try to get that back up again. Just bear with me. That's share PowerPoint.
Matthew, just while you're doing that, I would just want to chip in to say that the issue about not recording lectures is one that has been raised at all the other rep forums as well, and it very much comes down to the individual lecturers and how comfortable they are, really, and then you tend to find all the excuses in between about why they don't do it. I think that that's maybe something to take to the senior university leadership team, Matthew, because if they're looking at a blended learning approach, then as part of that, you can set up a camera to basically have the lecturer only.
Of course.
So, there are workarounds to that if workarounds are desired by students. And I think if you're looking at a blended learning module and approach, which might be happening for some time, then that's something that the university needs to invest in and basically not make it an optional thing. If courses are going to be online, it needs to be something that's mandatory. And a lot of people have had to upskill, obviously, over this time. So I appreciate, lecturers are very intelligent people. You probably shouldn't have too much problems upskilling to use a bit of recording software.
Thank you very much for that, Alice.
My
There.
opinion.
I think I saw. Um, but Rosie, before I proceed, do you have anything else to share?
I don't think so. I think
Okay.
that's pretty much everything I have. Thank
All
you.
right. All right. Thank you very much for that, Sophie. I think I saw someone else's hand up. I'm not sure.
I think it's Sophie.
Sophie? Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Sorry, so I have 2 points, but I just wanted to kind of piggyback off Rashin's point. Um, well, I'm the
Sophie, sorry for
program.
breaking you. Can you just, mention your full name and your, program? Which,
Yeah,
yeah.
Sophie Wilson. I'm the program rep for MSc Wildlife Biology and Conservation.
All right.
So with our lectures, if you can't get to campus on time, they are recorded because we also have distance learners and part-time students. Because some of us have like a 2 or 3 hour commute into campus, and doing that for a 9 a.m. live lecture isn't going to work. So our lecturers do manage to record them. So it is possible and it does work. If Rashin's lecturers are telling her that it doesn't. But
Yeah.
I tried to type that in the chat, but then it only sent part of the message, which is not ideal. So my points were with the MSc, obviously a lot of that funding isn't covered from the sort of government or anything like that, and it's slightly more difficult to get loans. And because we're doing this like flipped classroom approach, which is what our lecturers are calling it, we're not having very much face-to-face time or even live but online time, and we're spending hours a week watching lecturers like preparing for like a 1 hour Q&A about the lectures. So a lot of my colleagues have raised the issue that they don't really feel comfortable with the level of teaching they're getting for the amount that they're paying. Obviously, tuition fees isn't something we can directly address, but maybe slightly more live or in-person events would be better than watching, 5 hours of lectures a week in preparation for one module. A lot of people have raised that, and I put out a survey, and they all kind of said the same thing about that. And the other thing was that a lot of international students coming. So in my case, for the course, we have students from India and Africa coming over, and they're not equipped to study at postgraduate level in the UK. They're really struggling, even just navigating the online resources. The information is all there. They just can't navigate through it. Particularly, our course is quite statistics heavy, so they can't do any of like the statistics and coding. It's all totally new to them. And I emailed my program leader about this, and she said that she's thinking about putting a kind of academic workshop in place, basically covering all of the information that is in the online resources, but covering it in person.
Mm-hmm.
But this won't be put in place until like very late this trimester, if not next trimester. So it's obviously not ideal for the students who've come from abroad who are just not equipped to do anything at the minute. Like I know
Mm-hmm.
people who are 8 weeks behind on material that we have an exam for tomorrow. It's really not ideal, especially with the fees they're paying. I'm not really sure how we can address that at the minute, but thought it was worth raising.
All right, all right. Thank you very much for that, Sophie. Sophie, you spoke about the classes being watching up, having to watch lots of videos. So are these videos from the universities or from an external sources?
No, so there are lecturers will have recorded. For example, I was watching lectures today that were recorded pre-COVID, like 2 or 3 years ago. They were recorded live, and then we are given them to watch in place of actually being taught the materials. So that's the
Okay.
main learning resource for our courses. We're given pre-recorded lectures to watch.
Hmm. So that means that you're not having access to maybe asking questions, right?
Yeah, so we can post questions on the Moodle forum, but it's not the same as being able to ask questions within the
Yeah,
lecture.
I understand now.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
and we have we either have a Q&A session online or in person, but a lot of people have raised the point that we people would be much more engaged if the lectures were in person and the Q&A was online rather than the
Hmm.
other way around. Because I've sat and watched 5 hours of pre-recorded videos
Yeah.
today, and my brain is just numb, and
Hmm.
it's just not a great way to learn, especially when you're paying for face-to-face teaching.
Hmm. Wow, wow. Okay. When is your SSLC coming up?
The 27th of October.
27th of October. So that's next week, Wednesday. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm going to advise you to do, Sophie, at this stage, is to raise that up, okay, at the SSLC level.
Mhm.
Okay, so peradventure, like I'm also with the international student case also. Okay, so raise that up at the SSLC level. Okay, so peradventure, if it's not been addressed there, okay, please send me an email.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you so much for that, Sophie. Sophie, anything else, please?
No, that's all good. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that, Sophie. Did I I saw Hazel's hand up. Yeah. Okay. Great.
Hi, Hazel. I'm from the Master's Biomedical Science course.
Okay.
One thing I mean, everything else has been brought up, but another thing was a lot of students don't actually understand the timetable they've been given. And during the first maybe 3 weeks, I've noticed like quite a lot of them were missing lectures because they couldn't find the classroom because they didn't understand that week by week it changed, so they were going to the previous week's classroom. It's just a small thing, but maybe something that could be explained during the welcome week.
Okay. Okay. I mean, it's not something small, Hazel, as long as it affects the student. So I don't think it is small. You know. So is it that does this timetable changes every week or something?
Yeah, we have a different timetable every week.
Okay, so it changes, right? So there's no like consistency in the timetable. Okay. Okay.
Sometimes the time will match up,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's especially where people are getting confused because it'll be 10 till 12, say every Monday, but the room will change
Mm.
every week, so
Okay.
they're just
Okay.
assuming it's the same.
Okay. Do you know when your SSLC is coming up?
Next Wednesday.
Oh, 27th, yeah. I think that should be 27th, like
Yeah.
so okay, all right, all right. So what I'm going to advise you to do is probably, pick it up, there, all right. Discuss that with them at the SSLC level. So paraventure, if it's not solved, okay, then you could just send me an email so I can take it out with the school admin myself. Okay, is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Hazel. Anything else you want to share, please? Hazel?
There's been
Anything else you
minor
want to share?
module specific things, but nothing broad.
Okay, yeah. I mean, whatever you want to share, just share, please.
Um, there's been a couple of particularly on Moodle, there's been conflicting information,
Okay.
especially around deadlines. For example, for one of our modules, molecular pharmacology, it states that the assessment's due both week 9 and week 10 in several different places. And I think that this is obviously stressing people out if they don't know exactly when the deadlines of
Mm-hmm.
assessments are,
Mm-hmm.
or if there's maybe multiple assessments that they don't know about, and that's why there's different deadlines.
Okay. All right. Because with these, I know it's something that the program leader can be able to look into, and also the tutor themselves. Okay. But like I said earlier, you can also pick this up with them next week, Wednesday, even correct. That's the 27th, yeah? Okay. So just, pick it up at the SSLC, okay? So if it doesn't get addressed, just email me, please. Is that all right, Hazel?
Yeah.
All right.
That's
Thank you so much
everything.
for that, okay? Anything else you want to share, Hazel?
No, that's everything.
All right. Thank you so much for that. I think I saw someone hand up.
Michael.
Mike? Okay. Michael?
Hello, uh, I'm Michael. I'm the Year 1 Animal and Conservation Biology program rep. I just wanted to piggyback on what Sophie was saying about the quality of teaching in some of these lectures. I've noticed that in the first couple of weeks, one of our modules was like completely pre-recorded, and the time for interaction with lecturer was actually very, very small. So we were basically just watching videos without any sort of comprehension of what was actually going on. That's improved now a little bit, but we're still noticing that the teaching material that is provided isn't necessarily specific to what we're learning. We did a lecture on like reproduction last week, and it was using slides that were maybe 3 or 4 years old for a different course, and we're sort of told like, look, just look at this part of the thing and try and understand it, but you actually don't need to know half of the stuff in this lecture, which is it just feels like a bit of a waste of time. instead of having a set time to learn what we actually need to know for that module. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you very much for that, Michael. Anything else you want to share, please?
No, that's it.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Um, regarding having to teach with a material not useful for the course, I think that's strange, But are you aware of when the SSLC is coming up?
Our SSLC actually just passed. It was a couple of days ago now, so I've had mine already, and I'm not sure when the next one is.
Okay. But during the last one, were you there? Okay. Did you bring this up there?
I brought up the same module and raised certain complaints about it, but I actually don't think I brought up that specific point. No.
Okay. What I'm going to advise you to do is email the program leader first, okay, and talk about this issue, okay. But peradventure, if that's not, addressed, just email me directly, please. Okay.
Yes, sure, I can do that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Michael. I can see Clara and up, yeah.
Hi,
All right.
I'm Clara. I'm a third year microbiology and biomedical science rep, and I just wanted to say that because I'm the same that our meeting passed, but I just thought maybe it was relevant to bring up that a lot of students over the years are finding it hard to find a place to study. Like we have to book our rooms, but there's a lot of issues with booking rooms, and they end up being double booked. So there's not a lot of facilities for people to study like singularly by themselves.
Okay. So Clara, you said booking rooms, right? Rooms
Yeah.
to study. Yeah. Is it in the library?
Yes.
Okay. Booking rooms in the library. Okay. So, what were the challenges?
So pretty much a lot of them are just completely booked for days and days. Even if you're trying to get ahead, even like a week or something like that, it's very difficult. I just don't know if it's just because there's too many people, and there's been instances of where it's actually been double booked. So both people have the receipt to say that they booked the room. So it's a bit, especially when you want to use the big computer for whatever reason, that it's quite difficult.
Okay. Is there something we can pick up with the facilities department?
Yeah, I think that's probably something that we'll have a chat with facilities about. If my understanding is correct, are kind of booking things because they might need them and then not showing, and that's causing other people not to have access to them, then it might be that needs to be reviewed as to what the process is that happens there. Because especially if we tie that in with something that was discussed earlier, which was, if people are coming onto campus and being expected to attend a face-to-face lecture followed by an online lecture, how do they have resource to do that? Because not everyone has a laptop that they can bring in or whatnot. So I think that's definitely an issue which we can raise with the facilities team about how the booking is happening, and see if we can get some kind of change to whatever process it is, and make sure that it's more fair and people can't just block book out things. Does that sound like it would be a useful kind of line of conversation?
Yeah. I think we can just pick that up with the facilities department. Okay. Clara. Okay, and I should get back to you on what we come up with. Okay.
Okay.
Azel.
Sorry, just to add to that, another thing I've noticed, a lot of people aren't aware they can book classrooms, not just library facilities, which from my experience have been quite empty, which also suggests that nobody's aware that you can book a classroom.
Okay, so people are not aware they can book a classroom. Okay.
Oh, I totally did not know that. That's never been like told to us.
All right, so Azel, so instead of booking the library, you can actually book a classroom to read, yeah, to study.
Yeah, it's through the resource booker. As a student, you have access to book the classrooms as well, in all the campuses. Usually only short term like booking. You can't book well in advance, but I imagine that's the same for the library as well.
Okay, all right.
Not
Thank you
one's
very
aware
much
of
for
it.
that, Azel. Thank you so much for that. But do Clara knows the link to the resource booker. Do you have access to that?
Yeah, we do have access to that, yeah.
Okay. Would you try that instead? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Just let me know how it's going. Okay, if it works. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Isa.
It's always great when reps provide other reps with
Exactly. I like that. Yeah.
It's always nice.
That's great. Um, anyone else wants to raise anything around academic issues? Okay, that's Michael. Yeah.
All right. Just with the resource booker thing, I've noticed quite a lot of the time that these large rooms, which have a capacity of up to 6 people, sometimes have a person of one just sitting in there on their own. And it seems like quite a waste of a resource if you have a huge team of 5 who needs to work. So maybe that's something else that can be brought up in the booking process of those resources. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Michael. Just let me just put that down. All right. Thank you very much for that. I think that's two. Yeah, Rosen, it could be a reason. Yeah. Rosen just mentioned that could be maybe due to COVID restriction. Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
no, my point was that the rooms have a capacity of up to 6 people, so you're allowed to have 6 people in them, but people are able to book them when they're just singular, so when there's only one person. So that one person is using a room which has a capacity of 6 people.
For 6. Okay. We'll get that. All right. Thank you very much for that, Michael. Anyone else? I think someone just came in now, yeah? Was that Prince?
Hi, means me, Ami and Michael.
Okay, Hami, yeah, how are you?
Yeah, fine. I lost my mind to find the link, that's why.
Sorry about that. Okay, all right. Yeah, so we're just kind of talking about academic issues at the moment. Okay, is there anything you want to share, like any concerns that your colleagues are having on your program?
No, means actually, they raised a problem about the means online classes, no other things. They didn't say anything clearly.
Okay, but just Amy, before you just proceed, can you just tell us your full name and your course of study?
Yeah, Ami and Michael, Masters Wildlife Biology and Conservation.
All right, thank you very much for that. So Hami, you said your colleague was talking about online classes, yeah?
Yeah, means they are telling means if it's be on face to face, it's more means it's more means favorable for studying, and
Okay.
students can means clear their doubts face to face, and everything will be up to date.
Okay. Your colleagues are looking to have more of face-to-face learning. Am I correct?
Yes,
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that.
thank you.
Bear with me. But Amy, do you know when your SSLC is coming up, please?
What?
Do you know when your SSLC is coming up?
Yeah, I know this coming week means November.
Okay. Oh, is Sophie and Amy in the same department? Yeah.
Yeah, we're on the
Yes,
same
same.
course.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, because still, Sophie, yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, that's fine. So I think what you can do is to raise that up with them at the SSLC meeting next week. Okay. But parameter is not addressed. You can just email me and I can take it up with the school admin myself. Okay.
Okay, it's
All right. Um, Alessandra.
Hi.
Yes.
So yeah, I just wanted to highlight. So the other day we had the representative meeting.
Alessandra, sorry. Can you tell us your full name and your course of study, please? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
Alessandra Bossoni, and my course of study is biomedical science. In year 2.
Mhm.
So as I was saying, we had a representative meeting the other day, and I raised quite a few issues with some assessments, and in particular the fact that people are struggling at the moment because almost all of our assessments are due in October or November, and then after the first half of November we have barely anything to do. So it seems like everything is do it like now, and then we just can stop doing anything after week 10. And this was raised, and the program leader told me that they will try and find a solution, like revise the deadlines. But they basically told me, you have to start and get used to working like with multiple deadlines, which is fair. But some deadlines were moved around, so they kind of went one on top of the other. And I also contacted the module leaders for this, and they just told me that these deadlines were decided back in April, so they couldn't do anything about it. So I wanted to ask if there's anything else I can do to bring up this issue, because it feels a bit unfair on me and my colleagues.
Mhm, mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Alessandra. So, Alessandra, you said the model leader said what department handles makes that decision.
So basically, the program leader said that she will get back to the year 2 leaders, module leaders,
Mhm.
and she will advise them to revise all the deadlines for the upcoming years. But she said that it's not likely that nothing will change about this, because apparently they were decided in April and there's nothing that can be done. So I think it's just I don't know how it works exactly, but my point is just, how is it possible that we have 3 modules, and for these 3 modules we have to do everything in 2 months, when in like we have like a month in which we don't do anything at all?
Okay, okay. Um, because in cases like this, I'm aware that individuals can actually ask for extensions.
Yeah, sure. This is of course something that we can do, but it's more like a group problem. Like it's the whole course that is having this problem at the moment. So of course, people who actually really need the extension are also asking for them.
Mhm.
But we just wanted to see if there is a permanent solution for new years, like in the future. Because for us, it's a bit too late at the moment. We can just ask for extensions, of course.
Yeah, 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 yeah. All right, Alessandra, it's something we can I can take up with the head of school. Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. But I would need you to please email me the details.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. My email is on the chat. Just my first name m dot my surname at
Okay.
napier.ac.uk. Okay. So please just email me the details, then I can take it up with the head of school. Is that okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Alessandra. But in the meantime, please, please speak to your colleagues to, directly ask for extensions. Okay,
Okay,
if they need any, yeah, please.
all
Okay,
right, thank you very
yeah.
much.
All right, that's okay. Thank you very much for that, Alexander. Do I have Clara and up?
Yeah, I actually remembered something.
Okay, that's fine.
I got reminded that talking about like direct entry students, I found that people in my year that have come direct entry from second year, and obviously with COVID and stuff, that they found it very difficult with R and kind of coding and stuff like that, and lab skills. It seems like it's the expectation that you should know what you've been to do while you're in
Mm-hmm.
labs, and all the etiquette that comes with labs and coding. And I think people would really benefit if there was maybe like a lab day or something, that they come in and like kind of hone their skills a little bit more before they kind of get put in the deep end.
Mm, all right. Thank you very much for that. I'm Clara. Just bear with me. All right. So the direct entry students are experiencing a bit of challenges in coping with a new, study, eh?
Yes, just kind of with like the kind of practical stuff that involves like R and the labs. I think they feel quite it's about a big challenge because it's something that's really new to them, and like they
Yeah.
just don't have the skills that are expected because
Mm-hmm.
they're just fresh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I totally understand that. So have you tried to raise that with a program leader?
Not yet. I actually just came to think to bring it up actually. But I
Thank you.
will.
Yeah.
I'll, I will should I'll email my module leader as well.
Yes, please. Shoot him and shoot your program leader an email. Okay, but provided if it's not, addressed there, I could take it up with the head of school myself.
Oh,
Okay.
perfect. Thank
Yeah,
you.
because that's a very important point you're making there, to be honest.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you very much for that, Clara.
I was just going to say something on that one as well, if that's okay, Matthew, which is
Yeah.
I think that would probably be quite welcome feedback because they're always trying to find ways where they can bring direct entrance in and the transition to be a bit more smooth. So it's something that certainly, if you can highlight the areas that they're kind of there's a deficit in upon entering the course, that's something that they'll probably feed back and they can look at in future years because obviously they're always trying to attract more direct entrance. So I think that's a really hopefully a really useful piece of feedback for.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Alice there. Because in one of the program approval board I attended a couple of weeks ago, okay, we were talking about the direct entry, not being able to catch up with their peers, so yeah. But that's a different program anyway in Mexican campus. But yeah, please pick up with your program leader, okay? And also, I think you can also probably please send me details too about that. Okay, yeah, it's something that is worth taking up with the head of school, all right, so they can put that into consideration, when they're preparing those programs moving forward. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that, Clara. Do I have any? Sophie, is that still your hand up?
No, I just had something else I
Yeah.
wanted to add. So when I was mentioning that we were watching pre-recorded lectures from a few years ago,
Mhm.
it's literally this week, like I just watched the lecture today. We often have to watch them before we go on a field trip or something so that we can get information before we actually do the field trip.
Mhm.
And the one we watched today and a few in the past as well over the last few weeks have been obviously Q&A sessions within the actual class that were recorded and then
Mhm.
provided to us in place of being taught the content. So today we had like a project design lecture where at least 20-25 minutes out of the 50-minute lecture was just background noise of people discussing things before the lecture actually
Wow.
the content.
Mhm.
But because Panopto doesn't say, oh, the next 3 minutes are just background noise or skip to 10 minutes, it's a lot of time wasted
Mhm.
when we have so much to be doing.
Yeah.
So this happens quite a lot, and also like in lectures where people have asked questions, the lecturer often in the past won't have repeated the question before they answer it and go off on like information tangents about that question. And because the person was at the back end of the classroom, when we're listening to the recording, we can't hear anything. So I think a lot of things like that, sound issues, and like audio quality, were a big thing that came up when I put out the survey. That the lecturers just weren't, I don't know what the word is, but basically had to watch it 4 or 5 times before you actually took everything in because you just kept missing bits.
Mhm. Mhm. I totally understand that, and I totally because the interaction is actually very very vital when it comes to learning. All right, and then what other people are asking might not be your own question, or other student question that they want to ask, yeah. Um, but just like I said, your SSLC is coming up. Okay, just raise it up there. All right. But like I said, if it's not addressed, please email me directly. All right, I'm happy to take that forward. Okay,
That's
please.
great, thank you.
Yeah, that's very important. Please. Thank you very much for that, Sophie. Do I have anybody hands up? Okay, nobody. Okay. So let's move on to Azel, right? Okay, all right.
Sorry, it's just a minor thing, but as a new master's student, one thing that I've noticed is that a lot of lecturers use quite anxiety-inducing language without it being necessarily constructive. For example, saying that this is masters, you're going to have to do more than undergrad, but without providing a stop point of like what that looks like is quite
Mhm.
terrifying. A lot of people have been asking me for advice on how much information is supposed to go into the assignments, and I don't know either. So it's a small thing, but I think like I've noticed almost all of the lectures use that kind of language that you're going to have to work harder and but then not actually provide any information on what that would actually look like. For example, past assignments or examples or any.
Okay. Okay. I just bear with me with platform. All right, thank you very much for that, Azer. Like I said earlier, it's not something small, okay? Because what's very important to us at Enter is that your experience within the university, okay, is improved. All right, so issues like this are very, very important for us to, take forward, and this will affect the current student and the student to come in the future. So please raise that with the SSLC. Okay. And if it's not addressed, like I said, just send me an email directly. All right. These are issues I can directly raise with the head of school myself. Okay. But speak to them at the SSLC level first. Okay. So if that's not been addressed, just email me directly the details, please. Is that okay?
That's no problem.
All right. Thank you very much for that. That's easy. Okay. I'm not seeing anybody hands up again. Michael, is that your hand or?
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, that was me. I just wanted to sort of piggyback off the anxiety thing a little bit. It's not exactly the same, but WebEx provides the ability to send private messages to the lecturer during a lecture. And I've had a couple people bring to me the issue of being called out when a message was private. So they've sent a private message to the lecturer and obviously wanting to be anonymous, and the lecturer has called them out on the video. And it's just something that I thought I'd bring up, and I'm sure I can bring that up with a program rep or a module leader, dependently.
Okay. Just bear with me, Michael. All right. So when it's saying the private messages were they questions around the course?
Yeah, so they're questions related to the course. But I guess people feel uncomfortable asking them in the private chat for fear of, looking silly or something like that. So they send them in privately, and then
Yeah.
sometimes that gets called out, and their names get called out.
Okay. Okay. I understand that. Okay. Can you pick that up with the program leader and probably the model leader too, if that's possible? Okay. Yeah. So you just do that. All right. And yeah. Um, let's see what the outcome is from there. Okay, but if anything happens, just get in touch with me because if they're not comfortable asking it in the general room, okay, at least probably maybe their name should not be mentioned moving forward, but still answer the question. So whoever does ask that question privately will be able to know this is an answer to my question. If that makes sense, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so just pick it up with the module leader and also the program leader, please. Okay. Is that right, Michael?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for that. I think I saw Alessandra's hand up. Yeah. Correct?
Hi.
Yeah.
So when you were saying that our experience should improve, I also thought about something that came up in my course.
Mm-hmm.
So as this is like kind of private issue with one lecture, I don't know how to address it as a rep because it's a problem that a lot of students face, but I don't feel like it's my place to, of course, like go to the lecture and talk about that with them. What I mean is that we have a Padlet to make questions about the assessments and stuff, and sometimes the answers are not very helpful, because, for example, we ask something and they just reply, "What do you think you have to do?" And this is not really helpful.
Yeah.
And also, some people told me that they didn't feel comfortable in class or during the labs to ask questions because of the same reason. And I'm sure that the lecturer doesn't mean bad, because they said openly, like, ask questions, try and participate as much as they can. But the problem is that probably they're trying to make us be more critical about our work, but not everyone is comfortable with this. So I would like to know what I can do about this.
Right. Thank you very much for that, Alessandra. I mean, I understand if you don't feel comfortable, picking it up with a model leader. Okay. What you can do is to pick it up with a program. I'm sorry, with a model leader. Yeah. So just pick it up with a program leader first. Okay. To look into it. All right. But peradventure, if it's not, being addressed at the program level, just send me an email directly, please.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Please.
Alessandra, can I check, is it one lecturer in particular that's doing that, or is that a theme that's running through multiple courses?
No, it's one lecturer specifically.
Yeah, I would raise that to the program leader and say you'd like it to be treated kind of with some confidentiality, but one person in particular is not answering questions, and they're just firing them back.
Okay. So yeah, I just asked here because I asked about this in the representative meeting the other day, but I think the discussion was a bit misunderstood, because when I raised the issue with the question, for example, and I made an example, they just told me that probably the question was something that we as students should come up with. Like, for example, what you have to include in an assessment is about you, which is fair. But in some cases, it's just we ask for some clarification and we get, what do you think about this? Or just read whatever, but it's maybe a bit ambiguous sometimes. So shall I still email the program leader again about this?
I probably, sorry, Matthew, if I'm stealing your thunder here. I probably would, yes, because it's not a one-off about things that, sometimes if it's to do with submissions, lecturers can be not wanting to give direct advice because that is work that needs to be submitted. But it's where it's direct questions about an aspect of the course that should be taught, then it's a case of if a person's asking a question, it's usually because they don't know the answer.
Yeah.
So to say, well, what do you think the answer is? Well, the person's already asking you the question because they don't know that, and they're there to learn. So I think if this is happening multiple times and it's one person in particular doing that, that does need to be raised to the program leader.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that, Alessandra. So let's just quickly move on to facilities and tech issues. Is there anything anyone wants to bring up around there? Sophie? Yeah, go ahead, please.
So with the facilities, I know a lot of when we actually have in-person stuff, all of it so far has been in the classrooms where, you have those foldable desks that come out from the side of the chair. I've not yet seen a left-handed one of those. And so that's quite difficult for left-handed people to obviously twist and write. But also, like, I have a back injury and it makes it very difficult to sit and try and write. And some of the desks are slanted, so you can't put your laptop on it because it'll just fall off. I know obviously they're all over the campus, so it's a bit of a difficult issue, but if there was the opportunity to put some desks in there somewhere, just rather than a tiny little black bit of plastic that just breaks. And also, I've had a few people say that there aren't many kind of study spaces that kind of like they're worried that if they come onto campus and they haven't booked a room, that there won't be space because there aren't many places to just sit. And if you want to socialize and work at the same time, it's not very accessible for that. And there's one other thing. Oh yeah, so I know it seems a bit stupid that a few people have said to me, "Oh, I wish there was somewhere where we could sit outside, like a few tables or something," because we're conservation masters. Like we want to be, outside.
Yeah.
But obviously it's getting into winter, so people might not want that anymore. But just for like the future, a few people have said to me, "Oh, I wish we could sit outside."
Okay. Okay.
That's all from me.
All right. Thank you very much for that. I mean, the issue around, the table being just for one, favoring one, side of the, or maybe right hand or left hand, I think something we can raise up with the facilities, Alice there. Yeah. Yeah.
As a left-hander, I feel very strongly about this. Yes, I think that's something that could be raised. Also, you've got to look at accessibility when you consider that as well.
Mhm.
So, having injuries or indeed a disability that's kind of ongoing and enduring, it could have significant impact. So there must be kind of workarounds, and there must be other resources available. So that's definitely something worth taking to facilities and asking
Yeah.
what
We're
adjustments there
gonna pick
are
that
for
up.
people.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. I think there was a new construction at Sighthill where you can sit down outside, if I'm correct. A new trampoline or something, yeah?
As you come in,
Yeah.
so you've got the area underneath the main walkway as you come in, and there is seating down there. It's often being used outside. There's a kind of green area, which I believe there's plans to kind of expand upon.
Hmm.
So I think that is either in place or and also likely to be expanded upon. It was certainly there come Freshers Week, which was the last time I was on Sighthill campus.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I think I saw that during the Super September that we had. Yeah, that was when they were installing that at both Mekiston and Sighthill. Yeah, yeah. But I think about it's what taken up to the facilities. Probably they have other plans to expand them. Moving forward. Thank you very much for that, Sophie. Anyone else on facilities and tech issues? Clara?
It was just a little thing to jump on to what Sophie had said. It was just that from personal experience, I had surgery at the start of this trimester, and I had used the lifts a lot because I wasn't able to go up the stairs. And in Sighthill, like two of the main elevators are broken, and have been broken since I've been there. So it's just something like a little thing. I haven't been campus for like a week, so maybe it's different, but it just seems to be the case that if one's fixed, another one breaks. So just
Yeah.
for
Okay. Okay. All right. We could take that up with the facilities department. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that. Just saying, Azel. Yeah.
Just to piggyback off that one, the one of the buttons for the elevator has actually been broken for over a year now. So it's not been like a short-term thing. It's been neglected for quite a while. It's the floor 0, just beside the cafeteria. The one
Okay.
on the right doesn't work, but that's the one that calls the lift. So often you'll have to press the left elevator button to reach the right. But if you're in a wheelchair, that's not
Mm,
appropriate at all.
yeah. 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 Thank you, Azel, for raising that.
Also, the third button is also, but I think that's one more visible.
Okay.
Floor 3 inside the lift.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Azel, for raising that. All right. Anything else around facilities and tech issues? Rosine, is that your hand up? Okay.
Yeah, it's about the lifts again. I also was relying on the lifts for most of the semester because I've been on crutches, and I literally had to, like, I've been showing up for class like 30 to 40 minutes early just to ensure that I can actually use the lift and be there on time, because at the moment, like, there are huge queues for lifts, and I think a big part of that is that there is, I think it's a limit of 2 or 3 people per lift. I know obviously that's a COVID restriction, but people like, I think people find it a little bit silly because like we're all going to the same classroom and we all sit down and take off our masks like once we get out of the lift. And it's like, yeah, waiting for the lift takes a ridiculous amount of time. I
Wow.
don't know what can be done.
Yeah, I think I'm seeing that on the chat also. I think that's kind of like a major issue within facilities there at Sighthill. Okay, yeah. I'm going to taking this forward with the facilities department. Okay. Just bear with me. That's
Yeah.
Rosen. All right. Thank you very much for that, Rosen. Great. So, anything else around facilities and tech issues? Okay, the lift on the B corridor. Okay, okay, okay. All right. I see that, Sophie. Thank you very much for that. Um, all right. Wow. Thank you so much for that. So, peradventure, if you are unable to resolve some of these issues, on a program level, and it also affects a wider group than just your program, okay, you can always get in touch with me, okay, or perhaps also get in touch with my colleagues that you have the details on the screen there. But most importantly, I want to say a very big thank you to everyone, okay, for taking the time to becoming a rep. When I took on the role some 2 years back, um, 2 years ago, I didn't know I was going to actually enjoy the role. I was only just concerned about some couple of issues on the program, and I said, you know what, I want to just talk about these things and just blab around it. And it became very interesting when my colleague began to talk to me about this issue. And I'm like, okay, so it's affecting you also, and so a couple of years down the line, I mean, today my colleagues still tell me thank you for raising the issues with our lecturers back then. And quite a lot of experience I also learned along the way, made some amazing friends for my campus there at Craiglet Art. Yeah, it's a very, very important role that you hold. So please keep up the good work. Okay. So but adventure, if any of your colleagues meet up with you after this forum, okay, to discuss things that is not being solved on the SSLC level, or maybe the program leader is not able to address it, please get in touch with me at any time. Okay, I'll be able to reply to your emails within 48 hours. Okay, yeah, so I'm able to take that up with the school admin or the higher level department within the university. Okay, all right. Thank you so much for coming. Hope to see you guys soon, probably on campus. Okay, all right. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Stop recording, Matthew.
Just bear with me, please. I'm just going to do that right away.
Sure.
So that's me